Nice that you looking at. Is it over now? Don't forget to subscribe. Is It Over Now? Is a song by the American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift, written by Swift and Jack Antonoff. The song was intended for but ultimately left out of Swift's fifth studio album, 1989-2014. It was released as part of the 2023 re-recording, 1989, Taylor's version. Is It Over Now? Is an electropop and synth-pop power ballad composed of dense reverb, synthesizers, and an echoing drum machine. Republic Records released the song to U.S. Contemporary Hit Radio on October 31, 2023. The song depicts Swift's complex emotions in the aftermath of a failed romance, discussing feelings of disappointment and resentment that ensue. The lyricism features rhetorical questions and tight internal rhymes. Critics drew several parallels between Is It Over Now? And Out of the Woods, 2014, a single from 1989. They praised Is It Over Now? For its enlivening composition and storytelling lyrics. Many deemed the song an album highlight and one of Swift's best works. Multiple publications included it in their lists of the best songs of 2023. Commercially, Is It Over Now? Debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100, marking Swift's 11th number one single in the US, also her 6th number one debut. The song replacing her own, Cruel Summer, 2023, from the top spot, making Swift the first female soloist to replace herself atop the chart twice. Elsewhere, Is It Over Now? Topped the singles charts of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, as well as the Billboard Global 200 and the US Pop Airplay chart. Swift performed Is It Over Now? 5 times on the Eras Tour, 2023-2024, after signing a new contract with Republic Records. The singer-songwriter Taylor Swift began re-recording her first 6 studio albums in November 2020. The decision followed a public dispute in 2019 between Swift and talent manager Scooter Braun, who acquired Big Machine Records, including the masters of Swift's albums which the label had released. By re-recording the albums, Swift had full ownership of the new masters, which enabled her to control the licensing of her songs for commercial use, and therefore substituted the Big Machine-owned masters. From April 2021 to July 2023. Swift released 3 re-recorded albums of her earlier releases: Fearless, Taylor's version; Red, Taylor's version; and Speak Now, Taylor's version. Each album also featured several unreleased, from the vault, tracks that she had written but left out of the original album's track listings. Republic Records released Swift's 4th re-recorded album, 1989, Taylor's version, on October 27, 2023, on the 9th anniversary of her 5th original studio album, 1989-2014. The original album was Swift's first official pop album after she had marketed her first 4 albums to country radio, and it transformed her artistry and image from country to pop. As with her other re-recorded projects, 1989, Taylor's version, features 5 newly recorded, from the vault, tracks that Swift had written but left out of the original track listing. Is It Over Now? Is one of the vault tracks Swift had written in 2014 but excluded from the track list of 1989. She wrote and produced the track with Jack Antonoff for 1989, Taylor's version. Antonoff and the engineers Laura Sisk and David Hart, assisted by Jack Manning, Megan Searle, and John Scher, recorded the track at 4 studios: Conway Recording Studios, Sharp Sonics, Los Angeles, Electric Lady Studios, and Rough Customer, New York. Antonoff also programmed the song, played synthesizers, and provided background vocals. Zem Audu played additional synthesizers and recorded his part at Audu Studio, Brooklyn. Sean Hutchinson and Mikkel Riddelberger played and recorded drums at Hutchinson Sound Studio, Brooklyn. Mikey Freedom Hart played synthesizer which he recorded at Big Mercy Studio, Brooklyn. Evan Smith played saxophone and recorded his part at Pleasure Hill, Portland. The track was mixed by Serban Genia at Mix Star Studios, Virginia Beach, Virginia, and mastered by Randy Merrill at Sterling Sound, Edgewater, New Jersey, a song based on storytelling. Is It Over Now? Depicts Swift's experience with rumors and disappointment in the aftermath of a romantic relationship. The narrator memorizes the details: red blood, white snow, blue dress on a boat, and clings onto the relationship. Let's fast forward to 300 takeout coffees later. I see your profile and your smile on unsuspecting waiters. You dream of my mouth. Before it called you a lying traitor. She accuses him of cheating with resentment and anger. You search in every model's bed for something greater. At least I had the decency to keep my nights out of sight, but, at one point, admits that she too has cheated on him. She later confesses to having fantasized about jumping off of very tall somethings to win his attention again. The on-again, off-again relationship leaves her wondering, is it over now? But she ultimately accepts that it has ended. The lines consist of internal rhymes in strict meter. I think about jumping off of very tall somethings just to see you come running and say the one thing I've been wanting. Music critics likened Is It Over Now to some of Swift's past songs. Several connected the song to or described it as a thematic continuation of Out of the Woods, a single from 1989. Because both songs address the uneasy situation of a past relationship and feature details regarding an accident. Bobby Olivier from NJ.com wrote that the feelings of sorrow, fragility and rage resembled the sentiments of All Too Well, 2012, while Ed Power from The Eye felt the song was a spiritual sequel to I Knew You Were Trouble, 2012. For insider journalist Callie Algrim, the question, is it over now, is rhetorical and represents an existential crisis. Meanwhile, Entertainment Weekly's Lauren Huff opined that the answer to that question was a definite yes, albeit not the good kind. Some media outlets speculated that the song addressed Swift's relationship with the English singer Harry Styles, which ended in 2013. Musically, Is It Over Now is a power ballad. It has an electropop and synth-pop production that incorporates dense reverb, synths, an echoing drum machine beats. Antonoff used analog synthesizers including Moog and Juno 6. The final verse features stuttering drums. The song is written in the key of C major in common time with a tempo of 100 BPM. Swift's vocals span G3 to D5. The hook has a vocal sample. The Daily Telegraph's Neil McCormick wrote that it was an odd squawking sample, while The Guardian's Rachel described it as era-specific alien-like. Huff said that the sound was vaguely reminiscent of a bird call echoing in a forest, which leaves the impression that the couple in the lyrics never did make it out of the woods. Antonoff addressed the sound and said that he used Moog and Juno 6 synthesizers to create it. According to Algrim, Swift sings with breathless vocals, which makes the song sound essential, urgent, as though it's literally gushing out of her. Shad D'Souza from Pitchfork commented that although most parts of Is It Over Now sonically aligned with 1989, some felt as if they were developed later and could fit into Swift's 2022 album Midnights. Variety critic Chris Willman wrote that the production had a mid-tempo throb that keeps the song from coming off as a total. For Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone, The spooky synth drone in the intro and the build-up into a brooding powerhouse mediation on love and loss made the track comparable to Swift's songs, The Archer, from Lover 2019, and Labyrinth, from Midnights, 2022. The Financial Times critic Ludovic Hunter-Tilney opined that the synths and drums were in line with the 1980s-inspired sound of the album. Whereas People's Jeff Nelson said they evoked both Out of the Woods and Labyrinth. Is It Over Now was released as part of 1989, Taylor's version, on October 27, 2023. Republic Records released the song to U.S. contemporary hit radio as a single on October 31. Swift performed Is It Over Now in a mashup with Out of the Woods at the Buenos Aires and Paris stops of her Eras Tour, 2023-2024, and included Clean, 2014, as part of the mashup during the London stop of the tour. She also sang the song in a mashup with her track, I Wish You Would, 2014, at the tour's Sydney stop. Most recently, during the New Orleans stop of the tour, Swift performed it with American singer-songwriter Sabrina Carpenter in a mashup with her 2024 singles, Espresso, and Please Please Please. In the United States, Is It Over Now debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100, marking Swift's 11th #1 song on the chart and making her the first female artist and solo artist to have 3 different #1s from 3 different albums in a calendar year. The single succeeded Swift's single, Cruel Summer, at the #1 position, making Swift the first woman to succeed herself a second time. A feat she first achieved with Shake It Off and Blank Space in 2014. After being promoted to US radio, Is It Over Now debuted at number 38 on the Pop Airplay chart. It subsequently topped the chart in March 2024, marking Swift's record extending 13th #1 song in the US pop radio format. For markets outside the United States, Is It Over Now peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Global EXCL US chart. The single debuted at number 1 on the singles charts of Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. On the Billboard Global 200, the single became Swift's 4th #1 song, extending her record for the most chart toppers among female artists. Music critics acclaimed Is It Over Now for its production and Swift's narrative songwriting. In reviews of 1989, Taylor's version, a multitude of critics selected it as the best vault track. Rolling Stone critic Angie Martocchio picked it as an album highlight. Rob Sheffield, also of Rolling Stone, deemed the track greatest vault stunner yet. USA Today journalist Melissa Ruggieri lauded the song for featuring an ethereal melody and the sting of a Swift scorned. The line of best fits Kelsey Barnes and Clash's Alex Berry commented that the track not only had a catchy and engaging production but also displayed intricate songwriting. The former said it showcased Swift's knack for narrative building, and the latter deemed it one of Swift's most introspective pieces. Billboard critic Jason Lipschutz summed up that the song excelled in storytelling. The characters and their circumstances feel instantly relatable, and the ending feels earned. Olivier and Algrim also lauded the production, and the former particularly highlighted the top-tier bridge. Neil McCormick of the Daily Telegraph wrote of the song, "It's the kind of dazzling songcraft and pointed delivery that reminds us that, when it comes to Swift, we should accept no substitutes." A few critics were similarly favorable but to a lesser extent. In the Los Angeles Times, Michael Wood ranked Is It Over Now 4th out of the 5 vault tracks and said that the song displayed Swift's accountability but without enough of the self-flagellating wit of her previous single, Anti-Hero, 2022. D'Souza remarked that the track was one of the Vault songs that can be encumbered by their wordiness, but succeeded in producing the kind of bittersweet gems that are Swift's specialty. Adam White of The Independent considered Is It Over Now one of the Vault tracks that were mid-tier Swift, but still turned out to be some nuggets of gold. A number of publications included Is It Over Now on their lists of the best songs of 2023. Callie Ulgrim of Business Insider placed the track at number 3 and deemed it a sublime distillation of Swift's ideology. Rolling Stone's Rob Sheffield and Angie Martocchio ranked the song at number 5 and number 19 respectively. Martocchio said that it condensed more imagery into a few minutes than an entire book a prestigious novelist could have made. Billboard's Hannah Daly listed the song at number 33 and viewed it as the highlight of 1989, Taylor's version. ID placed Is It Over Now at number 75. And GQ included it in their unranked list. The latter thought the song was undeniable and emblematic of a Swift mega smash. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.